everyone, and welcome to a game full of warships. Today's replay is from 6 of Spades and he's in the Musashi, a tier 9 Japanese battleship. He's on map Islands of Ice, and well, it's a tier 9 battle. There's no carrier, and there are 2 enemy destroyers. There is a Musashi, so who knows, maybe we'll see some deep-water torps. Now he has spawned here at the sea cap, and that's exactly where he is, and yo, there are already deep-water torps. So he's currently turning, this is a bit of a risky turn, because, you see, the Alsace is shooting him now, and he's showing up. Honestly, I would have just remained nosing. I don't think, oh, the Alsace is not shooting him. Interesting. Personally, I would have just remained nosing. There's absolutely no reason, I think, to just turn away. I mean, there are potentially a few enemy ships coming this way, and maybe not that many friendlies there. Then again, there aren't that few friendlies either, so I would have just remained nosing. I think that turn was a bit risky and not necessarily worth it. I mean, yes, the enemy is playing this very aggressively here, and maybe he has concerns about being overrun. But I think I would have just stayed nosing and, well, sat there or possibly reversed. Now that was maybe not the salvo he was looking for against that Alsace, but the Alsace ate some torps, so hopefully he's going down soon. And well, that's a lovely Donskoy there. It would be a shame if something happened to her. So of course the thing is, the Izumo here is also... Is the Izumo even... like, is he AFK? Oh no, he just moved. So the Izumo is pretty far in the back too. I mean, the cruisers, obviously, the cruisers wanna be ideally behind battleships. And 6 of Spades is already turning around again, which I can only approve of. I mean, once again, when you are turning, you're vulnerable. I just feel like if he had stayed nosing from the beginning, he would have taken a bit less risk there. But, you know, turning around here is a good idea. The destroyer certainly could use some backup, and the enemy is playing this very aggressively. But the friendlies so far, I mean, they have done a lot of damage to the Alsace. The Donskoy is almost down. Like, the friendlies certainly a bit more... Oh, down goes the Yugomo. I'm not sure why the Yugomo left the safety of the island. I mean, yes, the enemy is kind of pushing in, and once they get flanking shots, I mean, the Yugomo might just get raided by the Missouri and so on. But he could have just gone on the zone volley side of the island towards here, where we would have been a bit safer. I feel like, well, I mean, I don't know what the Yugomo was thinking. Maybe he just lost, maybe he thought he could get away with some torps in there. Probably should have stayed safe behind the island. Now, meanwhile, the friendlies are doing well at the A side. The enemy team seems to be very passive there, so the friends should have no trouble to get rid of this Atago and then claim A. He's in friendly hands. And, well, 6 of Spades is now in a position he wants to be in. He is basically... Well, I mean, he's a... The Shabbat might be getting reasonable angles there, but basically he is more or less nose towards the enemy in a reasonable distance, and now he can just do what Yamato does best, which is penetrate the crap out of everything. Or, well, you know, you could just get non-pens and shatters against the Shabbat. I guess that's also possible. Now, the enemy certainly has more ships here right now. The friendlies, unfortunately, have lost the destroyer and the cruiser here. And this means the enemy, well, some enemies at least are going to push in. So the Shabbat is almost down. The Missouri is showing quite a lot of broadside, so there might be some potential there. And it looks like Musashi is thinking the same. Now, sinking the Shabbat is also rather important because, you know, those guns might hurt, and he is showing more and more broadside there. Yeah, the Shabbat is taken care of, so that's one less friend. Now we have a broadside Alaska to deal with. There is still, like, the Asasho is around. Problem is there isn't anything you can do against the Asasho troops. They are just way too sneaky, and Well, I mean, you can sail in an unpredictable manner, I guess, but that's your only hope, basically. Now, the Missouri, who could have sailed in a dangerous flanking position, decided to go for B instead, so that's good news. So let's see. What our Musashi here needs is definitely some reasonable luck. I mean, he has the guns to just overmatch noses, but unless your RNG is also good enough, I mean, you see there's 3 pens here. He isn't going to sink this Alaska with just pens. Well, not fast enough. The Alaska could try ramming. I mean, would be enough to sink Musashi here, or he could just sail by and go for some nice citadels. I mean, the Alaska is more than capable of citadeling Yamato, but you know, 6 of Spades is prepared, and that was nicely done. Now next up we have an Alsace, and there is a Cheshire still around. We still don't know where the Asashi. I mean, maybe the Asashi is hunting the Izumo. Izumo is reversing, it looks like. I guess the Izumo decided to never join this fight. Oh, and someone just got detonated. There are some torps incoming from the Cheshire, it looks like, but they are going to miss. Now, once again, Alsace, I mean, he could try to go for the broadsides duel. Or he could just hope to go through the nose before then. We will see. And yeah, the user might be getting in on this. So he's trying to angle here. Probably slow down so he doesn't ram. And guns are prepared. Nice. That was rather well done, but oh, there are more Cheshire torps incoming. Yes, the Cheshire still had some torps left. Well, he took one. And he is getting very low here. He technically has 3 heals left, but he has to survive long enough to use them. So what he needs now is, well, some good RNG. I mean, once... Oh, is he showing broadside? I was just saying if the Cheshire just kites away, I mean, he probably could still get good hits technically, but... You see, it's a lot easier to hit shells in a broadside than in a ship sailing away, because sailing away just prevents a smaller target. But you know, I mean, that broadside is certainly much appreciated. So, interestingly enough, the friendlies managed to lose a lot of ships today, it looks like, but they do have the points and camp advantage right now. Even though, like, teams are equal on ships. And look at that, there's a high caliber, so got another heal going. So let's hope they can take out the Sashio here. Sumo is pretty low, but I mean, so is a Sashio. If this Sumo gets a shot off here, he could easily take care of the Sashio, and well, unless he gets incredibly unlucky, I suppose. Wait, is the Asashio reversing right? What's the Asashio doing? I'm not really sure what's happening there. Okay, so the Asashio is down and the Izumo is down. Well, I guess there would have been worse outcomes. So now the friendlies are actually 1 ship ahead. And somebody is camping A. For some reason the friendlies seem to be abandoning this and not even trying to fight it. So, you know what? Usual in these situations, I unlock the camera and we increase the speed because, let's just face it, there's nobody here to fight. So, 6 of Spades, he did well here. He's up to 4 kills. He can now take a camp and, well... Oh. I guess we can give him the camera back. So he got a nice salvo there into the tier pits, which is lovely. So it looks like the Tirpitz will just continue straight ahead. So he might just be able to get another salvo like this off. And we've just lost in Atago. I mean, the friendly still have a destroyer, the enemy still have a destroyer. So there is that. Kagero seems to be trying to top the incoming Tirpitz. That might actually just seal the deal there. Or maybe not. Maybe our Musashi is here to just... Oh, Tirpitz is starting to angle though. I mean, Tirpitz is obviously pretty dangerous if he can get close enough to use his torpedoes, but it doesn't look like the Tirpitz will get close enough. And that's a Tirpitz dealt with. So the friendlies are one ship ahead. They do have the caps. That's a very healthy Brindisi over there. Don't know how healthy the Musashi or the destroyer is. Also, I'm not sure about this Ron and Kutuzov. I mean, they were there when A was being taken, and from now they're just running away. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're trying to play the points game. Maybe we need to speed this up a little bit again. So, our Musashi is obviously trying to help defend the B camp. And the cruisers, unfortunately, are not so much. But I guess they are doing their best to show broadsides to the Musashi, so maybe they can... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what they are thinking. I mean, maybe the Kutuzov still have... I mean, they are possibly not detected, mind you. There is that. And the Kutuzov might just be looking for a position to smoke up. So, that Musashi seems also awfully healthy. On the bright side, Six of Spades survived long enough that he's going for his last heal now, so that gives him a bit of hit points to work with. But what he needs is, he probably needs that Brindisi to... Well, oh, there is the destroyer. He needs a Brindisi to screw up. Show too much broadside and then just get a good hit in. You might also need that destroyer to screw up, because, you know, if that guy just swaps from... But, you know, the friendly's main advantage is they have the points. And there's only 4 minutes left. So what he could do is he could possibly just sit in his position and just, you know, defend. Now the Rona and the Kutuzov are trying to further just sail away. I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that they think they can just win by points and not doing anything, but let's face it, they are not doing anything, they are not very helpful in any way. But then again, they haven't been for a long time now, so, you know, at least they're consistent, I suppose. Now, the enemy destroyer might... Oh no, I thought for a moment he might try to come around here and torpedo the Musashi. I mean, the enemy team should be slightly desperate at this point, so they might be willing to take some risks to try to turn this around. I mean, let's face it, if they could sink Musashi and then take this camp, they would... Well... There goes the destroyer, and that activated the special ability and the heal. But unfortunately, he is currently broadside to a Brindisi, and he doesn't really want to turn so that he shows too much broadside to the Musashi. Now he's... Six of Spades is trying to reach that island to probably get some cover from the cruiser. So, I mean, obviously Musashi can overmatch the nose of another Musashi, but there's a piece of island in front of that nose, so that makes it a little bit more tricky. So Spades almost muddied behind, so he now has that island as cover. There is 2 minutes 20 left. Now, the thing is, this island, if he gets close enough, this piece of island might actually prevent the Musashi from shooting him. So his plan is obviously to seek cover behind this island. And yeah, it worked. So he was protected there by the island. Now he is angling against the cruiser, now that he knows the Musashi can't hurt him. And his plan is probably just to go behind this island. It's 2 minutes left, 900 points, right? There is no reason to take any risks. There is no reason to fight anymore. And you see, now that there is no reason to fight anymore, the Kutuzov has returned to fighting. Maybe even the Horn is coming back. They waited until it was pointless and then they decided, you know what? Let's do this. Anyway. Musashi still has some shots against the Brindisi, and well, a little bit of damage there. Nothing too exciting. Oh, he's getting very low here. It looks like the heal is still going from his legendary captain there. So there is 1 minute remaining. I mean, technically, there's still a chance that he would sink himself a Brindisi, I suppose. Well, as it turns out, there was no time to farm the Brindisi because the friendly destroyer took care of business, sunk the enemy battleship, and sealed the deal. So yeah, it's a win, and 6 of Spades earned himself 3,236 base experience. Very nicely done by him. Also shout out to the Gagaru, who obviously did a lot in this battle as well. He achieved a devastating strike, a Confederate, a Dreadnought, a Kraken, and a High Caliber, scoring 260,000 points of damage and sinking 5 enemies. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this battle, and I'll see you guys next time.